Hello everybody, Ignatius L. Jackson CPA here with another important tip for you regarding PPP loan calculations. We're excited here to share this with you, and we think a lot of business owners actually qualify for PPP loans, they just don't know it. So we wanted to do a quick video to try to explain how you would determine if you're eligible or not. So it's a fairly simple calculation to determine if you're eligible. You're going to look at line 31 of your 2019 or 2020 Schedule C for each entity you own. If the total is above $100,000, then you're going to reduce it to $100,000, okay? Now, if you have a negative amount or a loss on that Schedule C, unfortunately you are not eligible for a PPP loan. But if you have a positive number up to $100,000, we can take that number, divide that by 12, and multiply by 2.5. That is what you're going to be eligible for a PPP loan when you have a sole proprietorship with no employees and you did not get an initial loan back in before August when the program initially ended, okay? That's how you determine if you're eligible for an initial loan under the PPP program that was revamped. All right, the bank's going to ask you for a bank statement or an invoice proving that you're in business as of February 15th of 2020, so be ready to provide one of those. And they're going to also ask you for a copy of your 2019 or 2020 Schedule C to submit to them as evidence of what your profit was for that tax year, okay? So be prepared to do those things. That said, if you are a sole proprietor that had no employees and you did get an initial loan, here's how you determine if you're eligible for a second loan, okay? You must have used all the proceeds from the first loan by the time you receive the proceeds from the second loan, okay, which should be pretty easy if you're a sole proprietor with no employees, all right? And you also have to qualify with a 25% reduction in gross receipts. How you determine that is you look at your gross receipts, okay, and that's basically the number that's on your tax return for your Schedule C, same number, and you're going to look at the time periods of January to March, April to June, July to September, and October to December, okay? Those are the quarterly time periods. And you're going to compare that to 2019, the same time periods in 2019. You want to compare those, and if there's a 25% reduction in 2020 for any quarter when you compare it to 2019, then you will qualify for a second PPP loan. Now, if you were not in business for all of 2019, the calculation gets a little more complicated, and so I would recommend you work with a professional just to make sure you're doing that calculation right to see if you're eligible for a second PPP loan. But basically, if you're in business for all of 2019, it's a fairly easy thing to go through and do that math and figure out if you were there or not. There are certain things that qualify as gross receipts and certain things that do not. So if you think you're really close to the 25%, you definitely want to reach out to a professional and have them help you and assist you just to make sure that how you're calculating gross receipts is accurate, okay? But that said, if you do qualify for a second loan, you just go back to that same calculation that we did for the initial loan that we just explained, and that's how you're going to determine how much you're eligible for a second loan for PPP, okay? So that's the nuts and bolts of the PPP program. If you have any additional questions or anything like that, feel free to reach out to us. We do consultations as well. And so if you want to sign up for a consultation, by all means, please do. We would love to talk to you about potentially getting you a PPP loan, and we'll help you all throughout the application process and then later on down the line with your forgiveness as well in terms of making sure that the loan gets forgiven, okay? So don't get afraid by the word loan. It is a forgivable loan. It is tax free, with the exception of the states. This is the only area where we're not sure if it's going to be tax free at the states or not, because we're just waiting for some additional guidance from all the states. But generally speaking, it's pretty much tax free. So a great opportunity for you to get some much needed funding for your business during this pandemic. A lot of businesses are still struggling, and so we wanted to just make sure you understood how you would calculate that if you file your tax return as a Schedule C. Hope everybody has a good day. We'll talk to you soon.